you can have no picture at all, just sound. Some of your shots might be overexposed or underexposed or, well, heck, you might even have the wrong colors. But you know what? While these things can certainly be problems for photography and videography, a lot of them can be fixed in post-production. But the one thing that can't be fixed, the one thing that is just such a problem, is a shot that's out of focus. Nothing is more frustrating than trying to fix a photograph that's not in focus. Okay, this blurriness is giving me a headache. Intro, please. It's been so long since I've done a video. It's been over a month. I've missed talking to you guys. How are you all? How you doing? I'm going to talk about why I was gone for so long. I'm going to talk about this channel and just some kind of behind the scenes stuff. Talk about that later. But first, we've got to get to the focus modes of the X-T3. You know, the focus modes of the Fujifilm camera are so important, Fujifilm even makes their own special website just to deal with them. And I'm going to have a link down below that you can go there to check it out, and I strongly recommend that you do. You basically, at the website, you click on AF mode, and when you do, you get to a page that goes over all the different focusing modes, and inside it shows you examples of the type of photographs best suited for each type of focus mode. In the meantime, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to do a broad covering of all the focus modes. I want to drill down into it. I want to make it really simple. I want to simplify it for you. A couple of things you need to know. First off, I'm going to be using an X-T3. It's going to be specific to that. However, almost everything I say can apply to the X-T2. The second thing is, you know, as of the date of this video, I am using the X-T3 firmware version 3.0. Just keep that in mind. Things can change. In the meantime, let's get to it. When I'm saying focus mode, there's really 3 settings on this camera that you need to have immediate access to. And those would be the S, C, and M right on the front. And this dial is perfect. You can just touch it with your finger. So that's one area. And the other is when you go into the menu, you go into the AFMF section. And in that section, you will see AF mode and AFC custom settings. And I would strongly recommend assigning one of these custom buttons to quickly pull those up. And if you don't know how to do that, real simple, turn your camera on, press and hold down the DISP back button for a couple of seconds until the menu appears to set your custom buttons. I set autofocus mode to this top little button right here, and I set the autofocus C custom settings to this bottom one, but you can set them to whatever you want. The other one that you want to probably assign to a custom button is Face Eye Auto Detect. You want to have real immediate access to that as well. I happen to put it to this top button right here. Now, you have basically 8, count them, 8 different focus modes for the Fujifilm X-T3. 2 of them we're going to cut through right now and move out of the way because they're kind of specialty ones. Manual focus, that's number 1, manual focus mode. Obviously, you put it in M in the front, and then what do? You turn the ring on the lens and you manually focus, and you party like it's the 60s and 70s. So you basically, that's it. Manual focus. Simple, easy, done. All right, 1 down. 7 to go. The next one is Face Eye Auto Detect. Now that is an awesome one. You simply go into your menu, into AFMF, and you look for the choice that says Face Eye Detection Setting. Now, if you happen to see it grayed out, and sometimes these menu settings will be grayed out. If you see a menu setting that is grayed out, that's probably because you have this set in manual. Take it out of manual, put it in either C or S, and poof, it'll appear, and here it is, face eye detection setting, and within that you have a couple of choices. You have automatic, or you have right eye priority or left eye priority. I always leave it in auto, but you know, you might want to try the other ones out. Auto is fine for me. I just leave it in auto. Is it bulletproof 100% of the time? No, but it works really well most of the time. It's awesome. I think they did a good job with that. When you have it in face eye auto detect, you will see it appear. It's sort of a square that follows the eye, and it just kind of follows the eye. You see that? Even though you're panning the camera, it's following the eye. However, and this is going to be a first for PAL Detect. You know, in fact, it's going to be a first for YouTube today, right now. I'm going to prove once and for all whether or not face eye detect works on costumes like a stormtrooper. Let's take a look and see. So it's working, everything's great. Let's put the helmet on. It's got eyes on the helmet. Uh-oh, it went away. Yep, not working there. Okay, we've just proven that face eye auto detect will not work on a stormtrooper. A YouTube first. It also won't work on pets, like a dog. Check this out. Yeah, see, it's not working here either. All right, we got that one out of the way. 2 down, 6 to go. What I want you to do is I want you to think of a river, and there are 2 canoes going down that river. In one canoe is AFS, that's autofocus single, okay, on the front, AFS. In the other canoe is AFC, continuous, so autofocus continuous. And in those 2 canoes going down the river, in each canoe, there are 3 different focus point settings in each canoe. Single point, there's zone, and there is wide or tracking. Single point, zone, or wide tracking in each canoe. So 3 in here, that's 6. So we are going to start here in this canoe with AFS. Okay, single. So you put it in AFS, you put it in S, and then you have a choice. And if you go into your autofocus mode, you'll see you have a choice of single point, zone, or wide tracking. Oops, what's this? What's this? All. I'll tell you what all is. All useless. I never use this thing called all, but I'll tell you what it is just to tell you. When you select all, what that does is it allows you to then rotate the command dial, which kind of then changes the different focus points. But you know what? It's just kind of clunky and it's slow and it's prone to screwing things up and moving the pointer around. I hate that setting, so I don't use it to that setting. So single point, you have a dot, you have a single point, you put that point on what it is you want to put in focus, you half press down the shutter, that locks the focus more or less, and you can then recompose and take the picture. Let's do that right now. Okay, so I can single point right here. I'm going to take a picture of the lunar lander. How awesome is this rocket, by the way? You know what's better than the rocket? The entire day it took me with my kids to build it. Love this thing. Okay, so I'm going to take a picture. And by the way, happy 50th anniversary Apollo. How cool is that? All right, so we're going to take a picture of the lunar lander here. And I'm simply doing this. Boom, there it is. And take the picture. Okay, that's AFS. So let's go to the next one. AFS zone. So what zone is really capturing subjects that are moving across a wider area, okay? So I have it in zone here, and it's actually, you know, a little bit easier because I can make it a little bit wider. There's my zone. The camera's kind of locked focus on there. I'm half pressing the shutter down, and it's just because of the erratic movement of the subject, it makes it easier for me than just simply having single point where I'm having to kind of get that point where I want it. So zone gives you a little bit more zone, right? Okay. And the same thing with wide tracking. Now, wide tracking, it fills the entire focus points, all of them in the camera. And the thing about that is when would you use that? Let's say you're taking a picture of a flock of birds through, you know, with sky in the background and they're kind of all over the place. That would be a good time to use wide. Other than that, I don't use it a whole lot. Let's get into AFC. AFC is continuous autofocus. Basically, you're holding down the shutter halfway, so the camera is constantly calculating things and tracking the subject. It's very smart. However, you're smarter. And because you're smarter, it's up to you to properly tell the camera what's important to you, what it is you want as the subject to be in focus. What would you use AFC single point for? You would use it if you had a subject that was moving directly towards you, exactly directly towards you. For this next demonstration, I'm going to put the camera in continuous autofocus with single point focus area, and I'm going to have a subject coming right toward the camera. And what a better subject I could use than a Shetland sheepdog Piper right here. Let's check it out. Here's a Shetland sheepdog running toward me. Boom, boom, boom. You see the shots, taking them, boom, 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 running straight toward me. That is a case where I would use single point autofocus continuous. And, you know, for the most part, it actually nailed a lot of the shots. Check this out. You know, most of these are in focus. It did that one's not, but these are, and it did a good job with these. So that's the case where you would want to use AFC with single point. The next one is AFC with zone, and that is my favorite. That is the best one for AFC. You want to keep it in zone most of the time. You can kind of make the zone the size of your subject and just kind of slowly move the camera and follow it. So here is AFC zone, and watch this. I want you to see this now. Look at how, okay, I got it on the subject there, but look, in the mirror, it's not picking up the mirror. It's, you know, everything that's in green is what's in focus. So it's basically what the camera considers to be the important thing to focus on. So if you look here, look at how the subject is in perfect, you know, it's got this, acquired the subject, and it's ignoring the mirror reflection. It's pretty darn smart. In cases where you have a wider field of view, let's say, you might want to move it down to AFC tracking. That's the third one, AFC tracking. Now, I kind of think that AFC tracking is problematic for a lot of what I do. Let me show you why. In this case, I had AFC set. Here's my subject, but now the camera's going, oh, wait a minute, should I focus on the wall? Wait, I don't know. The floor? Okay, that's fine. Oh, there's a girl in the way. Should I jump over to the girl and get her? Yeah, wait a minute. It's not that smart. Okay, you know, I would say most of the time it's better to use AFC zone than AFC tracking for most of the time. So that's the third and final one of those 6. Now, with regard to AFC, there are AFC custom settings. They are in the menu. Obviously, they are located in AFMF, and they are right where it says AFC custom settings. And in here, you have 5 presets plus a 6th option, which allows you to create your own preset. So in this one, multi-purpose, it's just kind of generally gonna do its best, you know. In 2, it's gonna ignore obstacles and continue to track the subject. Let me show you what I mean by that. That's my subject, tracking my subject, I'm holding the camera, oh, somebody crossed it, did you see that? But it stayed on my main subject. It's because I had it in preset 2. Let's watch that again. Here we go, there's a subject, Now watch, somebody's crossing the subject and the camera didn't go, oh, there's something right there. It didn't focus in on the unwanted subject that crossed. It stayed with the subject in the background. That's awesome, and that's preset number 2. Preset number 3 is for accelerating, deaccelerating subjects. These pictures are great. They show exactly the scenario you would use these in. Let's talk about number 6, the custom one. You can create your own preset for AFC mode. And in doing so, you need to understand what these parameters are, what these settings are. So the first one, tracking sensitivity. That is basically telling the camera, how long should this camera stay on one subject until it's told, until it thinks it should leave and go to the next subject. So in the case of, let's say you put it to 0, okay, you drop it down to 0. What'll happen is, you know, the camera will, the minute something comes into frame that's like between, say, your subject and the camera, it'll immediately jump to that. Immediately, it'll constantly be jumping to the next subject, jumping to the next subject, okay? That's 0. That's 0. But if you move it over to 4, it's going to take its time, you know, it's going to kind of be like, no, I'm just going to stay with my main subject for a while. And that's what it did here. It was like on 4, so here it just kind of, I don't care about that person cross, I'm going to stay with the subject. The next one you want to think about is speed tracking sensitivity, and that one has to do with how fast your subject is moving from one area of the camera frame to another. In other words, if it's over at 0, you're saying that this is a steady, it's like a train going at a steady rate across the frame. It'll predict with greater accuracy where it's going to be. Likewise, if you drop it down to 2, you're saying that it's kind of a, it's accelerating, deaccelerating, it's not as consistent or not as steady, and that actually tells the camera to be a little more careful with that. And by the way, for what it's worth, I don't use a custom preset at all. The 5 that are on this camera, they work great. They work perfectly. They're fine. However, I think you should play around with it. And as you're using them, you can see what the values are, the preset values you can see, and that'll help you kind of understand a little bit more the consequences of what these settings are versus the type of pictures you're going to take and which ones work best for you in a particular shooting scenario. Now, this video wouldn't be complete if I didn't mention focus points. So with regard to focus points, you can go into AFMF and you will see number of focus points here, and you can change that to either 117 or 425. The other thing that you do is obviously you can move the focus point around. If you're on an X-T3, you can literally tap the screen to change where the focus point is going to be, okay? Now with the joystick, what you can do is you can obviously move it around. You move it around with the joystick. You see it moving? Here's a little trick. Press twice the joystick, like click, click, go like this. You see that? And it jumps right back to the middle. How cool is that? It's a little tip for you. This channel is now 4 months old, and it went for an entire month without a video. I didn't publish a single video for the past month. I wish I could tell you that it was because of work, that I was just too busy with work. I was too busy to do any videos. And frankly, to be honest with you, I was slammed with work. It was one of those situations at work. You know what I'm talking about when, it's like when all the light bulbs in your house or your apartment go out at once, right? It's that, that moment. It's like, oh, they're all just pooping out. So that was cutting into my time, no question about it. And I was originally going to just tell you that, I've been so busy, blah, 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 blah. I want to be straight up with you. The reason that there wasn't a video right after that last video I did was I was scared. I did a really good video, the last one, on the lens review, and I'll have a link to it below in case you haven't seen it. I'm very proud of that one. I like that one a lot. But I felt this immense pressure to top that and still define my voice. Am I speaking to just X-T3 owners, just photographers, tech in general? I've always been struggling with that, and that started to get to me. And between that and the work stress, I put off doing video, and I had an original schedule of doing one a week on Wednesday, and I blew that. And then when I blew it, I started to feel guilty about it. And the more subscribers, and I started getting a lot of subscribers, so the more subscribers that I was getting, the guiltier I felt, which meant the less motivated I was to make new videos, and it just went around and around and around in a circle. And it got real bad. I mean, I am kind of a perfectionist. Let me give you an example. This video that you're watching right now, I script my videos. Check it out. Here's the intro. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Look at that. Okay, that's the intro right there. That's the intro right there. I don't know. I don't know if other people do that or not. I do, because I kind of in advance think what I want to do. This is weird. Being on YouTube is weird. You know why it's weird? It's weird because you see me and I'm talking to you, right? But do you want to know what I see? This is what I see. That's what I see, right? That's what I see. That's all. That's what I see. So yeah. I'm just talking to a camera, and I don't know if anybody's listening. There's perfectionism of always wanting to be perfect and make it perfect and all that, but there's also perfectionism that creates fear. And the fear that it created for me really was a problem. And I think my kids actually felt bad. Check this out. Look at this. So here I've got my the back of the studio, and I don't know if you can see it, right? Look what they left. They left this little note for me right here. Look at that. See that? Okay, how cool is that? So here we are. I'm back. I have a new video. Now, moving forward, I'm not going to promise you that I'm going to have a video every week. I don't think I can stick to that schedule, and I think if I did, I don't think the videos would be the kind of quality that I want. I'm not talking about perfectionism, but a lot of work goes into them, and so they're not going to be every week, but they're going to be more frequently than they were. My goal is to have fun with this more and to really get to know you better. I mean, that's what, I reach out to me in the comments. I've been emailing with a number of you. It's been awesome. I love talking to you and I love hanging out with you. And so I'm really glad you're here is what I'm trying to say. I'm excited. I'm excited to start this journey with you. So we're going to celebrate. Now, anybody that thinks you make a lot of money off YouTube is crazy. You don't. Now, I started getting a little bit of ad revenue off YouTube because I'm eligible for that. So I took my first 15 bucks that I made off these videos, my first 15 bucks, and I got myself a bottle of champagne. Cheapest champagne they had. I got this at Target. Cheapest one. For those of you French viewers out there in France, this is not from the Champagne region of France, okay? This is from Target, but you know what? It's symbolic. So we're going to have some champagne right now. I'm going to have it with you. I'm going to have it with you. I'm going to celebrate. Let's do it. Let's open this right up. Yes! Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all. And here's to you, here's to me, a little bit, why not? I mean, I do some of the work. And here's to this channel, and I hope that you'll come with me on this next journey. Oh, it's good. Actually, that's not good. It's not good. Make you a deal though. If I get to 100,000 subscribers, I'm gonna do two things. Promise you. Number one, I'm going to get a better bottle of champagne, all right? I mean, this isn't bad, but come on. I'm going to get a better bottle of champagne. And the second thing I'm going to do, when I get to 100,000 subscribers, the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the real reason I started this channel. I'm not going to tell you now. There is a reason I started this channel. It's very, very personal. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for being there for me. Oh, wow. I'm going to go celebrate with my family. Take it easy.